Get his book out now.
Alright. Unique Mecca audio, man. Let me tell you one. Alright. Everybody been asking me to speak on Young Thug, Gunna, Rico charge and all that what's going on. So I'm gonna break it down because I had the same thing as far as with the CCE, continued criminal enterprise, the Rico, just so you know. Alright, these young brothers going through it. Right now, every time somebody pleads guilty, they give up more information. The more information they get up, the more people get picked up to be brought in on charges. When they bring them in on charges, you understand what I'm saying? They tell on other charges that they did not know about. They meaning the government. So as they tell, now they keep getting these new charges, and then that's why you're going to keep hearing the word superseding indictment. You know what I mean? Superseding means superseding the past one, the original one. By now in January, when this young man go to trial, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be, you know, like maybe 4 or 5 different superseding indictments, because every time somebody get picked up for something, every time somebody plead guilty, they do a proffer, they start cooperating, and they start telling their truth. You understand? Their truth is revealing a lot of information. You understand what I'm saying? And from that, they get more charges and more counts, and hence becomes superseding the previous counts that they had, that they was limited to. That's why if nobody talks, they get nothing. That's why the motto on the street and the street code that y'all like to try and ignore is you have the right to remain silent. That's the first thing they tell you. You have the right to remain silent because anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. You got that? So you sit here and you get involved in the game, and you think when you get picked up that you could talk to the policeman at the police station, you know, to tell them what happened, and tell them what really happened from your point of view, to minimize your role or whatever. Once you try and minimize your role, you just cemented your role in whatever the charge is. That's why it's best to shut the F up. And that's why I say go buy the merchandise. They shut the F up joint just to remind you, or to give it to those that you feel is in the street that ain't trying to listen. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm letting you know now that Rico charge, they could use any charge that carries a year and a day. You know what I mean? As an overt act or predicate act. That means in furtherance of the conspiracy. Meaning that's what made the conspiracy move forward. The same way you put oil and gas in a car and it makes it move forward. The same way the predicates and the overt acts get put in the case to make it move forward for when the jury's hearing it. So they don't care if they was charged with these predicates and overt acts. Overt acts are things that happen over the course of the conspiracy. Predicate acts are things that happen during the time of the conspiracy, all the same. But none of those had to go to the grand jury. None of them had to be brought back as a count. All people got to do is say that, yeah, he paid me to shoot up the boss. He paid me to rent the car to shoot the boss. You know what I mean? He paid me to throw away the gun. He paid me to go get a cell phone. He paid me to buy a burnout phone that didn't work so that, you know, he could use the FaceTime. Everything that you hear that prosecutor saying. You understand what I'm saying? All that is going to be under there just to paint a bad picture of these young men. That's how this works. Don't get it twisted. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why it's best to shut the F up. You know what I mean? The only time you talk is with your lawyer, and your lawyer do the talking. That's why they tell you that you have the right to remain silent, and you have the right to an attorney at any time. So don't say I didn't tell you. So don't sit here and say you didn't know the code, didn't know this and that. You can believe it if you want to believe it. But like I said, I'm sitting out here free man because I honored the code. And I knew to shut the F up. So all they had was what the dudes told on me, which wasn't corroborated, but that was just enough for the jury to hear, to come back with a guilty verdict, even though there was no proof of what I did, because I never said nothing, and they never had no phone taps, no wiretaps, no none of that. The same way Young Thug and Gunna, they said they was using these FaceTime phones that didn't work, but they used the FaceTime because that worked, because the FaceTime couldn't be traced. They're giving up game as they're trying to bring these young men down. Now this sister went up there and she told everybody honestly and straight up, you know what I mean? Said, I'm not targeting the rappers. They're targeting themselves by committing crimes and putting it on wax. Come on, brother. You dudes are creative. You rapper talking, all you rappers out there. I was just with Dave V. Salvato the other day. We did the video shoot with him. Everything went positive. But all you young rappers out there, y'all have content. You don't have to use real life content that you committed or was a part of. You understand? That's what's going to bring you down. I had a homie from Florida. You understand? A Latin King brother. Let's talk about the Latin Kings. Good little brother. He was from Palm Beach in Florida. You know what I mean? I don't never got to say no names because all my stories is factual. People in Palm Beach know who I'm talking about. He was an up-and-coming rapper, and he was one of the first ones to get picked up in the feds over there in that area, probably in the country damn near, because he did a video, and in the video, he was holding up a gun. You understand? He holding up a gun in the video and he was on probation. So they got him for felon in possession of a gun. They don't even know if the gun is real or not. But bottom line is he's portraying it's real, so they use that to bring him down. You understand what I'm saying? You can't go do a shooting in the park and then go make a video about, you know what I mean? You did a shooting in the park and think the police is not going to come get you. Come on, my brother. You know what I mean? You don't even need no one to tell on you because you're telling on yourselves. So I'm saying all you brothers with this creative content, continue to put out your music, but stop telling on yourself for content. Create content. You understand what I'm saying? Create content. I already did the crime, did the time for my crime. So that's why I'm speaking on what I've been through to try and help you not having to go there. You understand what I'm saying? To prevent you from not having to go there by me letting you know what I didn't know at the time. And my mollification, which is another form for excuse, my mollification was that I didn't know. The same as y'all saying, y'all didn't know. But instead, y'all listen to what an OG like me say. Listen to what an OG like Kevin Charles or whoever say. And you know what I mean? And when you hear us speak, the first thing you do is try and nitpick around it on far as, you know what I mean? What's the code and what's not the code. You're a baby. You just coming out in the street. No disrespect. I'm damn near 60. I've been in the street. So I know all aspects of the code. And bottom line to the code is you don't tell under no circumstances. You fight your case, you lay down, you got a beef with somebody, you deal with it, you don't run to the police, and that's the way it is. So that's why I'm saying if you want to be a part of that life, you understand what I'm saying? Continue to do what you're doing. But I'm telling you it's not worth it, and I'm telling you, you know, my opinion to you, which is just my opinion, just like everyone else have one. My opinion to you and my suggestion to you is get out the game. It's not worth it, man. It's a setup. Because even if you play by the code, you already know 99% of the other brothers ain't playing by the code. So that's why I say don't get involved in it, man. You know, so don't say I didn't tell you. Don't say I didn't break it down. I mean, that's what it is. Like I said, back to, you know, Young Thug and Gunna. You understand what I'm saying? Now everybody's putting up bets on who's going to tell first or if they both going to tell. You understand what I'm saying? I just hope that they got access to see some of these videos that I'm making so they know that the only way out is to shut up, fight it. You know what I mean? You go to trial. That's a Rico. No disrespect. Giving you my opinion. Giving you my experience. Nobody beats a Rico, my nigga. Nobody beats a Rico, my nigga. You understand what I'm saying? So there's two things to do. You go to trial, and if you cop out, make sure you cop out to a plea where you claim responsibility for yourself, not where you bring other people involved and talk about other crimes. You understand? Because you're going to bring your fellow brother down, and that's going to dig you even deeper, because now when you get in the prison system, even though you wasn't charged with these crimes that you're telling on your brother for committing, your name is going to be on your jacket. And when you try to get to a medium, try and get in some educational program, try and do something to rehabilitate or something to get out of prison, it's going to fall back on you, my nigga. It's going to come back to haunt you. You know what I mean? But like I said, a Rico, nah. I haven't met one man in 26 years that beat a Rico. I haven't met not one man in 26 years that beat a Rico. You understand what I'm saying? But I met few men. I ain't going to say plenty because it's hard to get out once you get in. But they honored the code and they was willing to deal with the consequences to their actions, even if that meant sitting in jail for life because they blew trial. But I met a few brothers that went to trial, you know what I mean? Got found guilty on the Rico, you know what I mean? Kept their lawyer on the case, continue to push and chip that charge down. You understand? In order to get out. But if they would have been yapping, Now, they wouldn't have been able to do that. Don't say I didn't tell you, man. I'm giving it to you real. I'm giving it to you raw. You understand what I'm saying? This is for Young Thug and Gunna. Any one of you little brothers out there looking at this that know him, let them know. I'm letting them know. It's damn near impossible to be the Rico, man. I haven't met not one man. I hope they the first. You know what I mean? Because I hope everybody, like I say, everybody's, innocent and proven guilty until proven guilty. You know what I mean? But nobody beats a Rico, my nigga. That's why they use the Rico, for the minorities, for the gangs now. They used it for crack and all that back then. They used it for the mafia back in the 70s. And then they used it for the crack and the heroin in the 80s, in the late 70s, early 80s. You know what I mean? And then here it is, 2022. It started about maybe 2010, where they started implementing it with the gangs. Because that's the easiest way to lock a person up. A Rico just means that you're at the top of the totem pole and you're telling everybody else to do, and you're too slick to get caught. That's what a Rico is. A Rico just means you too slick to get caught, and you're capable of controlling 5 or more people to do your dirty work, so you don't have to go rent the car to go shoot up the bus. You know what I mean? You don't have to go, go buy the gun to shoot up the bus. You know what I mean? You don't have to drive by to shoot up the bus. You know what I mean? The Rico is saying that you orchestrated and ordered that in order to further your illegal activity. You understand? I'm breaking down real simple now. I don't care how many views I get on this, because I just want y'all to understand how this works. That's the Rico. I've never met nobody that beat a Rico. I had a CCE charge, which is equivalent to a Rico. You know what I mean? Continued criminal enterprise, saying I was a drug lord. You understand what I'm saying? Now with that, they charged me with 1 drug violation. You understand? But the law says they need 3 drug violations. But what they did is, during the trial, they had people talking about all type of drug violations that other people committed, not even that I committed. And then the judge told him you could use anything that you heard throughout the trial to find Unique guilty of the drug violations, even though they didn't say nothing about me in those drug violations. And the one they did charge me with, the jury acquitted me of. So I was left with none. So it took me 26 years to fight it, to let them know that I don't have a drug violation. And it's a continuing criminal enterprise, meaning I continuously violated the drug laws with my enterprise. But how could I have continuously violate the drug laws with my enterprise if I don't have not 1 drug charge? Because I was acquitted of it. But that's how the Rico and the CCE work, my brother. All they need is the little homies to say you gave them this, you gave them that, you told me do this, you told me do that, and the jury hear that, and they got a thing that they said in the Supreme Court case that where there's smoke, there's fire. So the prosecutor got all of these, rats running up there, throwing a lot of smoke. You know what I mean? And the jury think that, man, where there's smoke, they got to be 5. They saying Young Thug, did this. They saying Gunna did that. You know what I mean? And everybody's coming saying Young Thug and Gunna did this. And these are the things they wasn't charged with. These are overt acts and predicate acts that was charged that was in the conspiracy. But the jury don't need a verdict, a guilty or not guilty verdict on that. That was just to show, how the wheels turned on their conspiracy. You understand what I'm saying? So if somebody say, oh, yo, he also gave me a gun and he told me to go shoot such and such. You understand what I'm saying? Cheers, cheers, the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime. What?
Fresh out the can of 26, Heat back on the strip, getting back in the mix. What he mentions a gift. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Real. Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. The Instagram page and the YouTube, you could go and visit. Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn. Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops, Mecca audio. Get it live like 2 G's in the 90s. Drop top beamer so shiny. I let shorty go, she was whining. Treat her like my past, she behind me. Spend a couple bands on the Dapper Dan. You be back again, getting green like a Packers fan. No cap, it's a raw in Uptown. They be horn Uptown, Dominican bust downs. Now we on the positive, we got a lot to give. Now he trying to stop the kids from being inoperative. So take heed, homie, lend an ear. He started in Uptown, he gon' finish dead. But now it ain't about selling drugs, buying cars. It's about buying property to make the community ours. So we can give back to the youth them. Cause they the truth them. And bless up to all the road men.